Persons who arrived in Jamaica in the last 10 days from countries with COVID-19 cases and have failed to self-quarantine could face charges and relocation to a government facility. That's the signal being sent by Prime Minister Andrew Holness as the government steps up efforts to minimize the spread of the virus. More in this report.
It's been 1 week since the government implemented restrictions on all incoming passenger vessels. Some Jamaicans in the diaspora weren't pleased, but Prime Minister Andrew Holness insisted it had to be done to contain the spread of the coronavirus. At a press conference on Friday,
we have managed, by virtue of the measures that have been put in place, to keep the numbers relatively low compared to others in the region. But this could change overnight. It could change in an instant. And today we examined some of the threats that could contribute or trigger a spike in our numbers.
For the last 2 weeks, there have been calls from the Ministry of Health for passengers who arrived in Jamaica on at least 3 JetBlue flights to make contact with officials. It's important to note that these passengers would have been mandated to home quarantine for 14 days.
Biggest threat presently to our numbers spiking would be persons who returned to Jamaica within the last 14 days, specifically those who returned from the 18th of March to the 23rd of March. Those who have not kept themselves in quarantine and who are circulating in the population who could possibly be asymptomatic or symptomatic and are spreading the disease in the population.
Mr. Holness said more than 2,000 people are now being investigated to see if they are sticking to the quarantine guidelines. He said though the number of confirmed cases of COVID-19 is low now, that could change rapidly overnight. Mr. Holness says the police and health officials will be tracking these people, going to their homes and removing them to government facilities. Prince Moore, TVJ News.